Welcome to Fashionology Today, your weekly fashion talk show, where you're going to meet designers, hear about models, manufacturers, and other fashion creatives as they share their products and tell their stories during our live weekly 30-minute TV show, only on the Fashion Network, FNTV. And your guest today, Annie Diamantidis, handbag and jewelry designer. Today is September 12th, 2023, and you're watching Fashionology Today. Hello, and welcome to Fashionology Today. It is September 12th, 2023. As you can see, we are moving slowly into our new studio. Today's going to be a great day. Bear with me with some of the technical aspects, but we have an incredible guest today. We're having Annie Diamantidis, a fashion designer who does handbags and jewelry. I'm excited to introduce you to her. So without further ado, we'll bring her in. Hello, how are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. I'm so glad you could be with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I really want to start with your start because reading all about how you traveled and you moved and Greece and all the elements that truly lent to developing you into the designer you are today, I think is an extraordinary story. So I'm going to hand it over to you to tell us a little bit more.
Absolutely. My story is sort of backwards than the average person. So I was born here in Chicago, but at 5 years old, my family just picked up and moved back to their native country of Greece. And we're actually from a small island called Chios. So it was kind of like a culture shock. Yeah, growing up in a big city and then having to move, pick up and go was kind of hard at first, but then you kind of adapt to it. Yeah, and it turned out to be like the best experience thus far. And it just shaped me into the person I am today and the designer that I feel that I've become because of the experiences that I've had in two different countries.
Oh, absolutely.
Growing up here, moving there, and then coming back, it kind of changes your perspective and your ideas on how things work.
Yeah, and not only all of the above, but also you were able to see various elements, like specifically textiles in different ways that you could incorporate those into your designs.
Absolutely. Being from Chicago, you see skyscrapers and beautiful architecture. And then you go to Greece and there's different architecture. There's so much history and there's so much.
And beautiful white buildings and blue roofs. And I mean,
absolutely. The blue and white theme is so big.
Yeah.
That's always there. And the architecture, even Athens, the architecture and the beautiful history. And I incorporate that into my designs and also into my story because all of my handbags have been named after a mythical goddess.
Oh, I didn't realize that. That's incredible.
I take pride in that. Yeah. And it's so fun because you can bring out your inner goddess depending on what kind of handbag you're carrying that day. So that's how I incorporate my designs and my story into each one of the bags that I design.
Yeah, absolutely. It's incredible. I'm going to bring in the screen here some interesting works of art, I would love to call them. And we're going to go through the slides here because it is just fascinating that you've been able to go, from Chicago to Greece and then develop both a handbag and a jewelry line, excuse me, that is, very well known, especially amongst celebrities and actors, actresses, and so on. So, take us through a few of these. The celebrity, I call them go-to bags.
Yeah, absolutely. I started my minotaur collection about 10 years ago when I was getting married and I needed a handbag for my special day. So I decided to try to create one. And from there, I got the attention of some celebrity stylists. And that's actually how I began this evening bag collection. So they're all hand painted.
Wow.
And actually, they're all handmade by me. So I'm very proud of it. I make these all by hand. And if you could see, this is one of my beautiful handbags. you can see that they're all hand painted with different Python colors. So I do custom make things for celebrities that they carry on the red carpet. But that all happened just kind of by accident. I needed something to match my gown, and I love exotic skins, and I use them for most of the handbags that I make, as well as the jewelry. So I never throw away any scrap. I use what's left over to make these really cool necklaces and rings, and also.
And is that how you actually developed from being a handbag designer to going into jewelry? It was a morphism between a sustainability aspect and something you loved?
Absolutely, because I just started off with leather handbags. I thought, who can go wrong with leather handbags? And I incorporated 14 karat gold. And then things just started to evolve for me and change. And I went into a totally different direction with these evening bags, because I got the attention from the right people. And then that kind of grew into its own thing. And then the more that I was looking into python materials, I was reading about the Burmese python that are kind of a nuisance in Southwest Florida. So then I started investigating more into that, and that becomes like a sustainable and more functional way of using these python skins instead of.
Oh, that's incredible.
They need to get rid of them.
Well, Annie, it seems that whether you're a designer or a supermodel or in between, oftentimes these amazing stories of success are simply falling into the right place at the right time and knowing how to not only develop that into a future, but also, find love and respect for yourself, and success comes. And it sounds like with you, it seems like you've been able to do all of that, being at the right place at the right time and choosing the right skin and so on and so forth. It's very exciting. I put up here a photo. I don't know if you guys can see it, but this is one of your really beautiful green jewels. Are these the python skin as well?
Absolutely. So I made a minidoire out of this beautiful green python skin that I actually sold. I don't have it to show you, but I don't throw away any of the scraps because it's such a beautiful material that I just kind of incorporated into jewelry. So all my jewelry is adjustable. So that's another cool thing. So I use this beautiful skin on adjustable jewelry, and it's finished with a stainless steel polished material.
It's really incredible. I want to add here real quick that we've had it all over social media, and so we're going to make sure everyone watching today has an opportunity to basically win this. But we have a giveaway from you today, an amazing necklace. This is one of your pink python pieces. The adjustable chain, and it's $125 that you're going to be giving away today. And we really appreciate you doing that. I know our viewers certainly do.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. And as a matter of fact, I'm wearing it right now, and it's adjustable. So the cool thing about this is that you can layer them on, wear it alone. You can adjust it from the back at any length. So that's a great.
So Annie, we're getting a lot of questions. In fact, here's one now, which I love because you basically already answered it. But from Kim Linger. Kim, thank you for watching Fashionology today. It says, do you manufacture in the U.S.? If not, where and why?
Yes, absolutely. Hi, Kim. I do manufacture in the U.S. And as a matter of fact, I make most of everything myself. And I feel like I'm supporting the economy. I am using sustainable materials. And that's the reason I love to keep it local. As a matter of fact, I keep it very local.
Very local. With the in-house, we call it.
In-house. I'm actually based in Chicago, but we do have a home in Florida. So that's where I kind of came to find out about these python skins. Yeah, so it's all local. I'm from Southwest Florida, and these python skins are also from there.
So tell me about how long it takes for the viewers to know. How long does it take for you to create one of your handmade handbags?
So one minidoire this size would take about a week.
Okay.
And and they're all lined with this beautiful suede. So
Wow.
it's not only beautiful from the outside, it's also beautiful from the inside. So because I hand make these, it takes about a week.
That's incredible. It's amazing. Really beautiful work. We are going to actually take a commercial real quick, but we'll be right back on the other side talking more with Annie Diamantidis, handbag and jewelry designer. Stay with us.
Rise, entrepreneur. Take that first step towards freedom. So long to the old routine. Welcome to your new venture. There's an industry that needs disrupting. Ideas you should be challenging. It takes courage to do what you love. We'll help you begin your journey. As a business like you, dedicated to you, we can take on tomorrow together with a business account you could open today. Entrepreneurs across the UK. Start your business with Tide.
We do thank our advertisers. We can't do this without you, so thank you very much. We're talking with Annie Diamantidis, ANNIEBAGS, and up here we've got one of her amazing necklaces. Annie, I have another question for you, actually. You talk about the younger self, and so take us back there, because one of the questions we ask our guests prior to coming on air, is there something you would change about what you've done or your younger you? And you mentioned not always saying yes. And I think for our viewers watching, being able to really absorb that and to understand as much as you want to say yes, because maybe you haven't broken into the financial sector that you really want yet, not just as a designer, but as a woman, as a man, as a human being, you tend to want to say yes constantly. So what would you say to your younger self?
I've been doing this for about 10 years now, and I try not to pass up any opportunities, but I've learned so much throughout this time that constantly saying yes to people doesn't always benefit you, because I've made many mistakes along the way. And to my younger self, I would say just take it easy, and opportunities come your way that you actually want to do. Not everything is going to be a good thing. So if I can go back, I would tell my younger self to just hold on. And it's a wild ride. So.
And it can be a really wild ride.
Yes.
So, you've been able to give your handbags to incredible designers, actors and actresses along the red carpet. I read about your vision or mission, and I thought it was beautiful that you talked about expressing yourself as a romantic, loving manner, and that you can express it through each of your designs, and then your buyers can do so as well by buying the specific pieces.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel that when there's a vision, it incorporates everything for everybody. So I think when you have a vision of, I'm going to create this beautiful bag that nobody else has, and I'm going to name it after a beautiful, smart goddess, I think that vision just kind of becomes its own thing. And people can connect with you when you do things like that. For example, the NYX clutch, which is the one that you just showed, is one of my signature bags, and I named it after Goddess of the Night, because I feel like this shape of a purse can go from day to night, but mostly night, because it's just such a beautiful, edgy purse that you can take to the dance floor. You can go out and have a great time. And
exactly. And even with your jewelry, here we're showing some more of your necklaces. You do rings, bracelets. Which do you prefer, by the way, handbags or jewelry?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think they kind of go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
I think that you kind of need both in your life, but you can have fun with a bag and with jewelry. So that's kind of a hard one to answer. I'm torn, because it's all fun.
Right.
Like, I have mine layered on right now. I feel like I'm a kid in a candy store with
It's awesome. Well, and I think layering is such a great way to express yourself. It's also not even a trend. It's a trend that kind of has stayed now for many years. And whether you're layering all gold or silver or, fun jewelry, touristy jewelry, I think it's been really exciting to watch the layering develop actually within the jewelry business itself. And speaking of trends, we're going to talk about trends in just 1 minute. We do have to air one more commercial, guys. I told you it goes by really quick. So we'll be right back with Diamantidis in just a second.
There's a couple things I'd like to say to you. After all the crazy things that we've been through, I needed you in the dead of night, the wake of the day, first broken light, and blind I'd follow you. I never realized how much I needed you.
Comfort. What we deliver by delivering.
Okay, and welcome back. Annie, we're going to talk our Trending Tuesday segment before I ask you another question. Black is back. Black coats. We saw it all over the New York Fashion Week runway. It is manifesting in every department store and designer and regular store, boutique, pop-up. Black is back. So our Trending Tuesday segment this week is definitely go buy your trench coat, your black coat, whether it's a designer coat or from Zara or Walmart or anywhere in between. You're going to see them all over starting in October and moving through to the new year. So Annie, do you have a favorite trench coat or car coat that you wear? Oh, can you hear me? No, I think she's having trouble hearing me. Uh-oh. Oh, and now we lost her. Okay, so we'll try to get Annie back in just a minute. One of the best things about Annie is that she's had this Gulf Shore. Here she goes. She's back again.
Sorry.
That's okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. No worries. I was just talking about the Trending Tuesday
Yes.
with our oversized trench coat. But Annie, you've been in a lot of different, magazines and various articles, of course, publications. But it's very exciting to see that and to see designers be able to read about themselves, because really it really begins the foundation of a successful designer. So really congratulations to you. I wanted to talk up a couple more photos just of your bags. I mean, they're just fantastic. All sorts of different types of bags. One of the questions I thought that you answered really well on our guest sheet was basically, what would you want to see change or become more prominent in the industry? And it is slow fashion. Certainly designing your handbags in-house versus manufacturing in Asia somewhere is part of that. But can you expand on that for us?
I can. Yeah. Fashion is such a fast-paced industry, and trends go in and out. And I feel like when I design, I like to design forever. I want a woman to buy one of my handbags and keep it and pass it down to her kids and her grandkids. Sure. So when I design, I try to keep it classy and simple. So I love
timeless.
Just timeless pieces, like this here. This you can keep in your wardrobe for decades and decades. So I feel like slow fashion, it's something you should design and you should love and carry and pass down and just kind of, that's what I want to see in fashion. I just love creating pieces that don't go out of style. They're in, this year, but they're not in next year. And that's the thing that I would change as a designer.
That makes a lot of sense. What is your, the best fabrication or textile that you like to work with? And also, what's the hardest?
The easiest to work with is Python because it's so
Oh.
soft and it's so you can manipulate it to any shape that you want.
That's
The
amazing.
hardest I would have to say is Stingray. Stingray skin is really hard and it's hard to bend. So when I made my first handbag, of course it was out of Stingray skin. I had no idea that it would be so difficult, but I was able to manage it.
So what a great life lesson that you could have said, oh, that's it, I'm done. I'm not going to be a designer.
Right. Everything starts hard and then it gets easier along the way. So that's another piece of advice. Right. So to answer your question, I would have to say Python. Python skin, I think, is so simple. It's so beautiful. It's striking. But then, Stingray is too. It's just a little bit harder to work with.
That's incredible. And take us through this. This look is just beautiful.
I actually made that handbag for her literally like a week before, and I had to ship it. I had to ship it to France overnight because it was such a last minute thing, and I'm so glad that she was able to use it and enjoy it. And
it's beautiful.
She's a fan now on Instagram. So
my God, good for you. That's
amazing. Yeah, she's a beautiful person. And
that's amazing. Annie, we only have a couple more minutes. So I want to get a couple questions in. Ashley, she says, what type of style is the hardest to design? We did just talk about the fabrication, but what style maybe? Silhouette?
The hardest style to design, I think, would have been this one here. Because it's such a unique shape. So when I took it to my manufacturer, they were like, oh, wow, this is going to be challenging. So you know what? It wasn't as bad as they thought. And this is one of my best sellers. So this one here I would say, was the hardest.
Oh, that's incredible. Last question. What trade shows do you recommend for both selling jewelry and handbags? Crystal Granger, thank you. And that is a great question because so many of our guests are apparel designers, men and women, and unisex in between. We rarely have handbag and jewelry on, and I'd love to have more. But featuring you today, that's a great question. Where would you send these new designers to trade shows to be noticed?
That's a hard question to answer because I don't do trade shows personally. I keep it very small and unique, and I do a one-on-one with all my clients. So, it depends on what kind of product you're selling. Mine are one of a kind, so they're not a trade show item.
Right.
So it just depends. There's so many out there. There's great ones. There's Coterie. There's Trends. There's so many different ones.
If you don't, attend them, that's okay too. But you're right. Coterie's great. So then here's another look, another celebrity. We all know her from Full House. I guess one of the biggest questions I would have for you at the end today is, how do you meet these celebrities then? If you're designing more custom one-on-one, how are you meeting people so that all of our viewers can maybe have a chance at doing so as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I connect with their people. So it depends on who their people are. You need to do some research and figure out
smart
who styles them or who's their publicist, or there's so many. You can go directly, on social media and kind of like do some research and
and DM and poking and
absolutely.
It is. It's really a game of smart marketing and truly, like we talked about at the beginning of the show, and now towards the end of the show, bringing it full circle. It's really where you are, timing, and being comfortable in your own skin, that they then say, okay, I want to know this designer. Let me talk to her.
Absolutely. You need to be confident when you approach people, when you approach boutiques or buyers or stylists. You just need to be confident. You have to have a good product. And when you tell your story, you need to be confident, and you have to produce a beautiful product in order for people to gravitate and want to buy it or use it, or whatever the case may be. So
absolutely, you certainly don't want to pitch yourself and have a great elevator speech and then not be able to fulfill your promise. That is not a good idea.
That's the hardest. Yeah, absolutely. So you have to be prepared, and you have to just do your homework, and you have to trial and error, see what works for you and what doesn't.
Absolutely.
And then just go for it.
Annie, we are about out of time. I want everyone to remember to go to ANNIEBAGS, ANNIEBAGS.com. They can also find you on Instagram as well. And we're really, really thankful for you today. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And we will look forward to seeing you in the years to come all over the runways. Thank you so much, Annie.
Thank you so much, Annie. Nice to meet you.
You too. Have a great day. And everybody, thank you for watching Fashionology today. Next week, we have an upcycle designer on our show, Gil Chethan. So we'll check back next week with y'all. In the meantime, make it safe and be fashionably fabulous.
Well, there's pecan turtles, pecan bear claws, pecan fudge, there's pecan toffee, there's pecan coffee, roasted pecans, pecan pesto, pecan streusel, pecan waffles, pecan